What's going on, everyone? This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show, TGIF, as Tom would say. We have a nice weekend ahead of us. Let's take a look at what we got going on. You know, we got some earnings today, mainly Nebius, which we can talk a little bit about. I do have a position in it. We'll talk some more about them. They were just able to get back on to trade. They essentially had to, I guess, extricate themselves from Yandex, which is a Russian company that got sanctioned at the beginning of the war. Everyone is saying that's a risk behind it, but it seems like the CEO, Volaj, is no longer liked by the Russians because he kind of just completely divested himself from anything in Russia. We'll talk a little bit about them, what kind of the logic is behind getting into the company, even though it's up 12.63% today. It does only have a 5.8 billion market cap. We're going to go through the financials and kind of compare it to something like CoreWeave, which is not public, but we know a general market cap for CoreWeave. Speaking of Russians, Tucker Carlson had an interview with Sergey Lavrov. I believe that released last night. Very interesting. Minister of Foreign Affairs for Russia. And, you know, regardless of what you think of Tucker Carlson or Sergey Lavrov, it's just interesting seeing those kinds. He's not a head of state, of course, but people who occupy that kind of power just talk, even if it is propaganda, you know, most of it. It's just kind of interesting to see what's said, what some of the mind games are, and some of the posturing is during those kind of interviews. It was pretty interesting. Looking at the composite right now, up 0.65% at 19,829. The Dow Jones Industrial off about 0.34% at 44,613. You had the DXY trading up right now at 106.03, up 0.26%. Crude oil breaking down even further at 67.11. I really want to get Teddy Keckstat on here. He is the author of the Tiger Forex Report on TFNN.com. By the way, we are back up and running. We had some issues with the server that was kind of out of our hands, kind of a little weird thing. Not to be expected as a normal occurrence. You go over to newsletters tab at TFNN.com. You can see right here the Tiger Forex Report by Teddy Keckstat. Again, he does a lot of currency pairings, but he looks at crude as well. And I just think he's a fantastic analyst. If you kind of want to see some more about him, like if you watch this hour, but not early, you know, with Tommy O'Brien in the morning market kickoff, you can go to our YouTube channel, Tiger Financial News Network. We have clips of Teddy and Tommy kind of speaking. That's going to be Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern time. He comes on at the 9:45 time, but that's the hour of the show. You have the gold contract trading up 0.34% at 2,657. You have copper at 0.08% at $4.19. Russell up 0.24%. Silver off 0.13% at 31.49. Let's see what else we got. Lucid's up 7.42%. It's just, someone plays this stock at these levels, and there's part of me that, here, let's get it off a year or something like that. I mean, that's a pretty, yeah. You know, you can buy low, wait for this run up, sell off, you know, buy here, wait for the run up, sell off, you know. Rather sell off here than buy. I don't know. It's this stock moves like usually like 4% every other day, which is kind of nuts. The EV stocks I am getting more and more wary of. We'll take a look at Rivian right now, up 4.66%, trading right under that $13 price area. Man, it did hit $13.52 this morning. Wow. I do have major concerns about what the Trump administration is going to do with EVs. You know, there's discussion. USPS has been trying to get these EV fleets out, and 60,000 trucks, dumping a bunch of money into doing this, and it seems like Trump's going to pull that back. This is by Oshkosh Defense, the people developing these trucks. You know, not when we really talk about them. I'm not even sure that they're public. I've never really heard of them before reading these articles. But that is kind of an indication of a more general perspective I think the Trump administration is going to have. We also discussed yesterday how the Department of Government Efficiency with Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk were criticizing the money given to Rivian to build their plant in Georgia. That's a major issue. Rivian needs money. They are very, very cash hungry. They burn through it extraordinarily fast, and they're not yet profitable. I don't know what this run-up really is about. If people are anticipating like very solid earnings, you had last earnings, November 7th, so nothing coming up here in the meantime. And that makes me a little bit nervous. And it's on, it's on okay volume compared to what's usually traded for the stock, but very wary of these. And, this goes into bigger issues with things like Ford, who have such an immense amount of, just stock in these EV cars, and they're not going to be able to sell them without some kind of tax credit or some kind of government program, That makes me worry for all of these kind of companies. Tesla is probably going to be okay just because Musk is so close. And, I think a lot of what Elon does is, kind of try to push these certain ideas. I can say this most easily with the example of AI, right? Like we need to sit and slow down AI. We need to kind of intentionally, inhibit its growth so we can figure out what we're doing. That has never been a position Musk has taken on anything that has to do with his. And in my opinion, I think that's a way for him to be able to kind of get ahead or at least get a foot up with Grok AI. So I have a feeling that this might be occurring, right? And it'll affect other EV companies, but not so much Tesla. And it's always a sketchy time shorting Tesla. I don't like doing it. I don't do it because you just get unreal movements like this. And it does get to like cult of personality a little bit, right? And I'm not saying that like with a negative connotation in any capacity, but Musk is a very magnetic figure. And everything he touches, for the most part, has like a huge meme effect to it, right? So you're trading right now with Tesla up 3.32%, trading at 381.72. Let's see, we're about to go to the break and see if there's anything kind of else interesting. If Disney trading up, this is nice that the stock has been moving up higher. Yeah, 116.83 kind of likes that floor right there of 115 and has been trading within the 115, 120 area, really the 118 area for the past few sessions. So hopefully we can keep that value and not crash right back down. Folks, you stay right there. We'll be right back.